rapid fire now and ask you a few things. So we got to talk about the
Yeah.
tech stack behind this, right? And that all starts with data. So let's talk about your preferences. There's so many great options out there. Obviously, you have the big three cloud and Microsoft, AWS, and Google. You have long stays like Oracle and IBM and SAP. And now we have things like Snowflake and Databricks, which are really kind of leading in that area. And
Yeah.
of course, then we have the non-structured databases of the world, the Mongos and the copycats of that. So when you talk about your tech stack for data science in general, and obviously, any sort of generative AI is part of it, what is your preferred tech stack from a data architecture perspective?
So our company's philosophy is to have a unified tech stack so that it works across the org. Uh, what that does not mean that you can't have some, let's say, additional tools, but that requires a lot of discussion. So it makes it very difficult to have those. I mean, you need to really be ready to spend money outside your IT budget as well as spend money to maintain that if you go ahead and outside that. So that already becomes a prohibitive, let's say, tech stack divider. Said that, our overall tech stack is Microsoft Databricks, a bit of Snowflake, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean, underneath you have some historical data providers such as Oracle databases, but that's being phased out slowly.
I'm curious, but you have both Databricks and Snowflake. Are you using them for different things? Are you using Snowflake more for the separation of compute and storage, and Databricks more for the smaller data lake that's going directly into your streaming analytics? How are you using both of those two?
Uh, the short answer is it's actually bit preference driven. Snowflake was requested based on preferences of certain segments of businesses that had experience, and then it's too much challenge to, let's say, upgrade them to another set of tech stack. So it was
Understood.
just easier to have a Snowflake onboarded for them because they were already working with Snowflake.
Understood. Yeah, it's really those two companies are just so fascinating to me. That seems like they're just sort of on this orbital collision path, right? Where one started as machine learning, the other started as, a huge disruptor to the cloud compute and storage database, and they just seem to be kind of moving towards each other, and it's really
because
fascinating. Sorry?
because that's where the offering is heading for both of
Yeah.
them, right? Because you can't compete with the big three easily. Or I mean, I would say big two cloud providers. I mean, Google seems to be really lagging in that for some reason. They've not been able to crack that market. But for them to survive, they have to add a lot of services, and then that made them sort of compete with each other, even though that's not what their business plan was.
Yeah, right. I don't think that's how it originally started, but it's become that way. And what they both have that's so fantastic is that agnostic layer. They don't care if it's on
That's
cloud or if it's on-prem. You could do hybrid and you could do multi-cloud. So they're both fantastic companies. It's just interesting that we don't always see them both together in one stack.
Yeah, so we have them. I mean, I've seen companies where they have even two or three cloud providers, depending. I mean, we don't have anything that's so critical that it can't go down even for a minute. For
Right.
us, it's fine. But like I know a travel company somewhere in Europe that has all the three because they once had only one, and one of them just had was unavailable for 10 minutes, and they lost huge amount of business.
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
then decided to have all three simultaneously running all parallel copies of their entire infra.